Whoever it is that becomes president next is likely going to be able to nominate at least one Supreme Court justice, possibly even more than that. Hillary Clinton obviously thinks she has a pretty good shot of becoming president, and a person at one of her campaign events has a pretty novel idea about who she should nominate were she to have that chance. Let's watch.
The next president will probably appoint several members of the Supreme Court. Would you consider appointing Obama?
Wow, what a great idea. Nobody has ever suggested that to me. Wow. I love that. Wow. He may have a few other things to do, but I'll tell you, that's a great idea. And, you know, it is true. The next president may get anywhere from 1 to 3 Supreme Court appointments. I would certainly take that under advisement. I mean, he's brilliant, and he can set forth an argument, and he was a law professor, so he's got all the credentials. Now, we do have to get a Democratic Senate to get him confirmed, so you're going to have to help me on that, okay?
So, President Obama actually on the Supreme Court, pretty interesting idea. Thankfully here, we at TYT also have a body to rule on these sorts of issues. So, should President Obama be on the Supreme Court, we turn now to the TYT Supreme Court.
Okay, this is a good one. First of all, I was annoyed that Josh Earnest, the press secretary at the White House, said, "My guess is Obama's aspirations for his post-presidency extend beyond a Supreme Court appointment." What does that mean? Like, how much higher are you going to get than the Supreme Court?
That'd be
I think
history.
what he means is, no, we're going to get paid.
Yeah, right.
Right? We're going to make $100 million first, then maybe we'll talk about the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to vote no. I think that for all of the reasons, the exact opposite reasons as the Republicans. The Republicans will say the executive orders were unconstitutional. That's not really true. Okay, the president gets to make executive orders. They're perfectly within his rights. But he did do, the wiretapping of Americans, a lot like Bush did, which is unconstitutional. Republicans won't bring that up because they love it,
Yeah, exactly.
right? So I had many constitutional issues with President Obama, and so I would prefer a real scholar and a real progressive, to be honest.
I would love it if Barack Obama was a Supreme Court nominee. And I would think it's a 10, it's a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10.
12?
But I hated that. I mean, everything about
happy she was?
Yeah, just the whole thing I find nauseating. To me, that was my reason not to vote for Hillary. Just the whole manner, that thing just makes my skin crawl.
Yeah,
and I agree with you. Like the president would obviously be honored at any time. You know, there's no point in me commenting on that. I don't know what's going to happen, but obviously any American would be honored to be considered for the Supreme Court. That's what Josh Earnest is supposed to say.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just amazing that you never know what Hillary's going to do to make your skin crawl.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what do you say, though, on the Supreme Court?
I think he'd be a great Supreme Court justice.
Really?
I think he would be.
The other way.
I think he would be a better liberal on.
Yeah, I agree.
When he doesn't have to govern, I think he'd be more liberal, like most people.
Yeah.
Even when conservatives get on the court, they become more liberal
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's a good point.
I don't think I would have
Because
said
they
it.
wind up having to read a lot.
Maybe.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
And I
facts.
think many of the things that we disagree fundamentally with him on are a combination of him giving in to donors and him buying into the system. So he'll still have bought into the system, although he'll be surrounded by fewer advisors, but he wouldn't have to worry about raising the money. So I think his true self, especially on the social issues, is quite progressive, and so I think we'd see more of that. So I would go for it. But it does sicken me that she's so excited. She needs to show that she loves Obama to get Democrats. So she's like, oh, that's the best idea ever. And watching it at home, Obama's like, could I have gotten some of this enthusiasm and love back in 2007?
Yeah,
You weren't that big of a fan of me back then.
What if Bobby? What if? No, I'm not going to say
I think
it.
Justice Obama would be much more like executive order writing Obama than
Doing
the
it
first
for the
5
right
years.
reasons.
Right.
Although he does like drone strikes.
So, okay, I have been outvoted 3-1. Apparently, Obama's going on the Supreme Court, except for the fact that what you guys didn't know is I actually did not appoint you guys to the court.
That's a good point.
wow.
So thereby vitiating your ruling, making me a 1-0 winner.
Where the hell's Anna?
You're saying we don't have standing?
No, sorry. Okay.
I'm saying that the only person
Jesus, Jenna?
during the show to use the word vitiating is automatically an asshole.
Here. All agreed on that. Unanimous.
Sustained.
Put Larry Lessig on the Supreme Court. Let's get a real constitutional scholar.